My name is Zog, and I'm an alien. I know, you're probably picturing some green antenna-toting Martian right now, but I assure you, my species, the Takarl, are far more sophisticated. We're blue, and we have tentacles. Anyway, I digress. This story isn't about me. It's about humans, those curious, hairless apes that somehow manage to wiggle their way into the hearts of the entire galaxy. And trust me, it's a wild ride. Now, I work at the Intergalactic Zoo, the most prestigious institution dedicated to preserving endangered species from all corners of the universe. My official title, Senior Curator of Terrestrial and Extraterrestrial Life Forms. My unofficial title, the guy who has to deal with the humans. When the Council of Galactic Species decided it was time to create a sanctuary for endangered creatures, we all assumed it would be a straightforward task. Build some enclosures, import some animals, feed them, water them, repeat. Simple, right? Wrong. You see, we didn't account for the sheer chaos that is humanity. It all started when the Council received a desperate plea from the humans. Apparently, their own planet was brimming with endangered species, and they had this insane idea that they could help us manage our zoo. At first, we laughed. Then we realized they were serious. And finally, we decided, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Enter Dr. Emily Carter, the human assigned to our zoo. She arrived with a team of experts, a pile of equipment, and a smile so wide it could put a Takarl's grin to shame. "Hi there, I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and we're here to help," she announced with the enthusiasm of a child discovering a new toy. I blinked my 3 eyes at her. "You do realize this is an intergalactic zoo, right? Not some terrestrial petting zoo." "Oh, I know. That's why we're so excited." She practically bounced on her feet. "We're going to make this the best zoo in the galaxy." That was the first red flag. The second was when she introduced me to her team. They were an eclectic bunch, to say the least. There was Tom, the marine biologist, who insisted on referring to himself as Aquaman. Sarah, the botanist, who seemed more interested in talking to plants than to people. And Jake, the engineer who spent most of his time tinkering with gadgets and muttering about quantum mechanics. Despite my reservations, I decided to give them a chance. After all, how bad could it be? The first day of their arrival was, in hindsight, a warning of the chaos to come. Dr. Carter had brought along a group of Earth's most endangered species to showcase humanity's commitment to conservation. There were pandas, tigers, rhinos, and even a couple of koalas. The sight of these creatures caused quite a stir among the Takarl staff, who had never seen such bizarre and adorable life forms before. Tom, the self-proclaimed Aquaman, immediately dived into our largest aquatic habitat, convinced he could communicate with our resident Garagnox. These majestic creatures are somewhat similar to Earth's whales, but with an extra set of fins and a bioluminescent glow. Tom's attempts at whale song were met with confused stares from both the Garagnox and my staff. I had to physically drag him out of the water, his pride as bruised as his ego. Meanwhile, Sarah was busy trying to introduce Earth's plants to our botanical gardens. She had this strange habit of talking to them as if they were sentient. "Now, Mr. Fern, you need to be nice to Mrs. Orchid," she would say, patting the leaves gently. Surprisingly, her efforts seemed to yield results. Our plants started thriving, growing at an unprecedented rate. It was both fascinating and terrifying. Jake, on the other hand, decided to overhaul our entire security system. "You can't rely on outdated tech," he explained, waving a strange-looking device in my face. "This baby here can hack into any system and improve efficiency tenfold." I had no idea what he was talking about, but I nodded along, hoping he wouldn't accidentally shut down our life support systems. By the second week, the humans had settled in, much to my dismay. Dr. Carter had taken it upon herself to train our staff on Earth-style animal care. She introduced the concept of enrichment activities, which, in human terms, means keeping the animals entertained so they don't go insane. It sounded absurd, but I had to admit, the animals loved it. One day I walked into the Kalaxar enclosure, a species resembling giant rainbow-colored sloths, to find them playing with what looked like oversized cat toys. "It's to stimulate their minds," Dr. Carter explained, beaming with pride. "A happy animal is a healthy animal." I couldn't argue with the results. The Kalaxar were indeed more active and content. Even the notoriously grumpy Zakans, think giant carnivorous armadillos, seemed less inclined to snap at us. I began to suspect that maybe, just maybe, these humans knew what they were doing. Then came the incident with the Verkniks. Verkniks are small, insect-like creatures with a penchant for mischief. They can teleport short distances and have an insatiable curiosity. One night, a group of Verkniks escaped their enclosure and found their way into the human quarters. Chaos ensued. I was woken up by the sound of frantic shouting and the unmistakable smell of burning toast. I rushed to the scene to find Tom trying to catch a Verknik with a net, Sarah attempting to coax another out of the toaster, and Jake waving his gadget around like a madman. Dr. Carter was calmly directing the chaos, her smile never faltering. "We need to contain them before they teleport into the main control room," I yelled, my tentacles flailing in panic. Dr. Carter nodded. "Tom, use the net. Sarah, lure them with food. Jake, shut down the teleportation grid." It was a testament to their teamwork that within minutes, the Verkniks were safely back in their enclosure. I collapsed onto a nearby chair, exhausted but impressed. "How did you manage to stay so calm?" I asked Dr. Carter. She shrugged. "We deal with worse on Earth. Ever tried to catch a feral cat? Now that's a challenge." A year passed, and the zoo underwent a transformation. Thanks to the humans, our enclosures were more interactive, our animals healthier, and our staff more knowledgeable. The Council of Galactic Species even awarded us the Intergalactic Conservation Award, a first in our history. Dr. Carter and her team became an integral part of our zoo family. Tom's ability to communicate with aquatic life proved invaluable in understanding the Garachnocs. Sarah's green thumb helped cultivate plants that were previously thought impossible to grow. Jake's technological innovations enhanced our security and efficiency. But perhaps the most significant change was in the way we viewed humans. Initially, we saw them as chaotic, unpredictable, and slightly insane. And they were. But they were also compassionate, innovative, and incredibly resilient. They brought a new perspective to our work, reminding us that conservation wasn't just about preserving species. It was about coexistence and harmony. One evening, as I watched Dr. Carter play fetch with a young Kalaxar, I realized that humans had taught us something profound. They showed us that despite our differences, we could learn from each other and work together for a common goal. They had turned our zoo into a true sanctuary, not just for animals, but for all beings. And so, as the senior curator of terrestrial and extraterrestrial life forms, I proudly say that the Intergalactic Zoo is now the best in the galaxy, thanks to the humans. Who would have thought that a bunch of hairless apes could achieve that? Of course, there are still days when I question my sanity, like the time Tom tried to teach the Garachnocs synchronized swimming, or when Sarah decided to host a plant therapy session. But in the end, it's all worth it. Because in the grand scheme of things, the humans have proven that even in a universe as vast and diverse as ours, they have a unique and irreplaceable role to play. So here's to the humans, the chaos makers, the problem solvers, the unlikely heroes. May they continue to surprise us, challenge us, and inspire us, and may they never, ever stop being wonderfully, beautifully human. Years later, as I look back on those early days with the humans, I can't help but chuckle at the memories. The Intergalactic Zoo has become a beacon of hope and cooperation, attracting visitors and experts from every corner of the galaxy. Dr. Carter and her team have moved on to new adventures, but their legacy remains. We now have a dedicated human exhibit, not of humans themselves, but of their contributions to the zoo. It features interactive displays of their enrichment activities, holographic recordings of their escapades, and of course a tribute to the Vruknik incident. It's one of our most popular exhibits, especially among the younger Takal, who idolize the humans as legendary heroes. As for me, I've embraced the chaos. I've learned to appreciate the unpredictability and the endless possibilities that come with it. And I've discovered that, in the end, it's not just about preserving life, but about celebrating it in all its forms. So, next time you visit the Intergalactic Zoo, remember to thank the humans, because without them, we wouldn't be the extraordinary sanctuary we are today. And who knows? Maybe you'll find a little chaos and adventure of your own. After all, that's what makes life worth living, isn't it?